PC gamer does not mean personal computer anymore. It means politically correct. Politically correct gamer is here, and they are letting everybody know that if by choosing to not replace the Oblivion remaster soundtrack, Bethesda's made the allegations against composer Jeremy Soule, everyone else's problem. Okay. Now, Blabs, you want to pull up a little rundown as far as the accusations here? This just a quick TLDR while you pull it up.
He was from what Marty was saying, it was like Me Too, and that he was also a bit difficult to work with, but also that a lot of composers get the rough end of the stick anyway for video games. Mm-hmm. I think those are the three main points, right?
Well, so it says, he talks about the game itself, walking around, says, but today I have a different association with Oblivion's music. The 2019 allegations of rape and sexual misconduct against composer Jeremy Soule, who wrote the music for Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim, among many other games. Before Bethesda announced Oblivion Remastered, there was speculation over whether the developer would remix or even fully replace Soule's music as a result of the allegations against him, or due to a conflict with Bethesda over Soule being left out of Skyrim concert in 2016. But we now know neither happened. The soundtrack is unchanged, just as we remember it. Now, here's the most important thing. He denied the allegations in 2019, and in the years since, he's almost completely vanished from the internet, scrubbing official sites and social media profiles, and he seemingly hasn't composed any new soundtracks since 2019. So there we are. Oblivion wouldn't be the game we remember without Soule's music. It can be two things at once: beautiful and tainted by association of its creator. Once again, I want to go back to this right here. Soule denied the allegations in 2019. And I also want to point out, once again, we talked about allegations last week. The allegation that Blabs eats a pound of hot dogs every single day will not escape you, Blabs. And I'm sorry that is going to follow you around forever.
I'm sorry, Chip.
If you could just apologize, just make sure you deny it.
It's actually hamburgers, okay?
Oh, pound of burgers? Yeah. But these allegations here, like this idea that you have been tainted by like this artwork, this new work, that this remaster has been tainted by something that may or may not have happened, something that somebody said something happened and the other person said didn't happen. This he said, she said instance that happened at the height of all this Me Too stuff. I'm floored by that they had the audacity to actually write this article to begin with. Phoenix, you got anything on this?
Well, I absolutely hate the time period that we're in, that allegations mean facts now. But I'd also like to ask too, so would that imply, with that same logic, let's say that the writers had the same allegations, does that mean they would have to literally rewrite the entire game? Like every single piece of dialogue, would everything have to be scrapped if that was the case? I'm kind of curious, because then the whole thing just falls apart real quickly. So from top to bottom, I find this story incredibly frustrating.
Well, there's you can see the writer's bias here, and bringing it to Blabs here. Judging by the enduring popularity of Harry Potter. Well, here we go. Here's the question. As I get older and experience disappointment after disappointment from the actors and writers and filmmakers, musicians I once admired, continuing to engage with their creations feels more transparently a question of do I enjoy this thing enough to ignore my moral view of the worldview in it? Judging by the enduring popularity of Harry Potter, the answer of many people is yes, depressingly often.
This is wild. So this person's basically taking a dump on J.K. Rowling for her views.
Well, this is a super mega lib right here.
Yeah.
Like super, not even lab, like super progressive here, as they say.
Can I interject real quick? Isn't that such an interesting? You can see the differences between the two sides of the woke and non-woke. The non-woke, what we judge is if the material itself is agenda driven. Is the material itself affecting the story? Are you preaching to me something outside of what the characters in the story is trying to tell, right? That's what we care about, and that's what we would maybe potentially boycott. They care about the personal lives that's unaffected in the art itself. It's just, Yeah, when you look at J.K. Rowling, there was nothing in the Harry Potter books that had any reflection of her political beliefs. There was nothing about any of the trans stuff or anything like that. And yet they still want to cancel her just for what she did outside of the story. And I think it's such a good example of looking at how the two work. One is an ideological cult that you must adhere to outside of your job. And the other one, we're just saying, hey, can you leave that stuff outside of the artwork and the content, especially if it has literally nothing to do with the content?
I think that's actually a really good analogy right there for sure. And there's a lot of truth in that. So who is the guy who's writing this? This is Wes Finlan over here. And Wes Finlan, as you may expect, so ideologically driven that they no longer post on X.
It's not safe.
No, this is rough. So hopefully Wes Finlan over on Blue Sky will be able to let everybody know. I mean, he's definitely a guy, I think. I don't know. But
not be.
Yeah, this is true. We don't know when it comes to this anymore. And how dare you actually assume Wes's gender? But this is, once again, this is not an opinion piece. I want to point out, usually when you write an article, there it says opinion. This says news right here. Point it out. So this is presented as news. This is the problem. This is why you don't take any of this shit seriously, because this is presented as news with a spin on it. News does not have a spin on it. This is an opinion piece. So
it's ironic though. So I'm doing a scroll on this article, and it doesn't say anything about Jeremy Soule himself being the composer for the Harry Potter video games, because he was for the first 3. But then he goes and makes a little tie-in at the very bottom. So it's like, well, clearly you could have made some sort of jab there, be like, well, he was also working with transphobe J.K. Rowling and he needs to be canceled. But he didn't even do his research properly.
Well, there you go. You're a bad person if you play Oblivion Remastered. Congratulations, because of something that may or may not have happened and has been denied. So there we are. That's where we're at now with video games. Yes, woohoo indeed.
Do you think that, how would they react, real quick? If let's say someone had made an allegation against writer X, would write an article like this, that they were involved in something, I'm curious how fast they'd be okay with, you're right, I should probably just completely quit and leave writing forever now that there was an allegation against me.
Well, I think that's actually really interesting because I've heard allegations against this guy, really, really damning allegations, but I can't repeat them. So they're really bad. No, I'm just kidding.
I know.
but I just don't want to get a lawsuit filed our way. But that's the thing, is like anybody can claim anything about anybody. And well, did they deny it? It's like, what? No, or why do I even, like it's true until it's denied. I'm like, fuck off. I don't know. You're 100% right about this. As far as the way that this is presented with, did the person write it, and what is the quality of the content versus the idea of if this person has ever thought something that's wrong. I can't get behind what they're doing. The cultist nature of it. It's a mess, man. It's a mess. Cold Acid says, police found there wasn't anything to support the allegations, and the supposed victims never tried anything in civil court either. Me Too to bullshit. Bring back Jeremy Soule. That's crazy, man. Thank you, Cold Acid. Marmalin says, they also found nothing in a court case related to this, so PC Gamer is lies by omission, which is just as bad. I 100% agree. And silence is violence, as they say. That's right. Joey came in with a $20 super chat. Says, sometimes it's best to separate the artist from its creation. If we were told, if we were to hold on to music, TV, movies, comics, video games, etc., to what they do or don't do in their personal lives, we would have no entertainment at all. Oh yeah, dude, I couldn't enjoy anything out of Hollywood based off of the nonsense that those people do on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis. It's disgusting. Titter Big Rancher says, none of these allegations against Soule were even proven or even backed up. He's one of the best video game composers. He deserves justice. What was done to him is criminal. Hot take: Guild Wars is better than Elder Scrolls. Thank you, Titter Pig Rancher. Greatly appreciate your support.